Yo, what's up, guys? Azur here. Yeah, like I promised you guys, I'm gonna be showing you today the character builder. I'm gonna be tweaking the Paladin build, so you guys know how to, play around how how to play around the character builder. How do I do my builds and everything. First of all, the character build is not mine. It's for another YouTuber, Rainer. I don't think he does Neverwinter videos anymore, but I'm gonna leave the link to his channel in the description. I'm gonna leave uh, the link to the page where you can download the builder and support him in the description. The first thing we're gonna do here is gonna do a run through the builder. It's very intuitive, guys. I'm making it sound harder than it is. You just you're gonna download, when you download the builder, you're gonna open up, you're gonna see that with a bunch of red colored here. You're gonna open tab by tab, you're gonna put your information of your build, First of all, it's gonna choose class, race, the two attributes that you picked up when you started the game, and the attributes that you chose leveling up. After that, we're gonna go with the gear. Just click here in the slot. You're gonna open up a window with all the gear that you have. We have available in the game. Same for the artifacts. Same for the all the other pieces here. Enchantments tab. You're gonna see all the enchantments here. Just click, open a window. Same thing. Very intuitive, guys. Aside from the enchantments, we do have the overloads as well. We do have the armor kits as well. So the armor kits are not in the gear tab, they are here in the enchantments. Another thing that is on the enchantments, I'm gonna change here just so you guys can see it. If we go to the master, I'm gonna put the master weapons, the old ones. We know that they have some kind of additional upgrades to the weapon. Uh, and those we're gonna see here in the enchantments tab as well. You see that comes from the weapons. The class feature, artifact class feature, and artifact modification. You can change your power, whatever you have on. We have the booms tab. Just fill your booms. Pick the stronghold booms you have. Mounts is annoying. I guess the game is annoying as well. So you're gonna choose the mount. Have a bunch of mounts here. If it doesn't have a specific amount you have, which may happen if your it's a brand new. Imagine that it's a brand new 4 slot mount. It may not have here, and the builder may not be updated. That's why he put some placeholders here, just in case. So just pick the right mount, then the insignia slots will appear here, and you just fill it with the insignias that you have. Change the rarity here and everything. For all the mounts, of course. Combat power, equip power, bolster. The bolster you can put whatever you have, whatever you want here. The important thing is this is displaying the same number that you have in game. For the color, same thing, click here, shows the color that you have. Companions, you're gonna choose the active companion here. It doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter. I just picked Spine Devil here just to make sure that to represent that I'm using a support companion. Gear slot of the companion, just open up a window, just choose what you have. That's the combat enhancement, and those are the bonuses from the companions. You see, if I hover over, you see utility, universal, defense, and offense. Just pick what you have there. Same thing. This is the bolster. It doesn't really matter what you put here, as long as the bolster is the same number that you have in game. Feats, we chose a Paragon here. Choose all feats. It's important because some feats give attributes. So some classes may have that. Powers. Choose the powers here. Don't think that really matters, but might as well. And buff foods. And I'm gonna start talking about the build now. So I'm gonna be doing some tricks to the Paladin build that I showed the other day. Alright, like I said in the video, I needed some pieces and I got them, so I'm gonna making some changes right now. And for the buff food that I have on, as you can see, I'm not using the Invocation Blast. That's something you can use. I just find it annoying to keep on activating until you get what you want. I usually just activate and whatever I get it. Stronghold food, I'm not using any, but you can definitely use the outgoing healing one. It's very helpful. I just don't bother because I don't need it in the moment. Elixir, I'm using the Wildstorm. Of potions, I'm using the Flask of Potence 3 plus 1. I can make those. This is very easy to make. I'm using it for the critical severity. Event food, I'm using the Squash Soup. And if you notice, if you click here on Legacy, you're gonna activate the legacy food for all this food. So you see right here, the watermelon is 10%. It's not actually 10, it's 5, but if I click on legacy and choose the watermelon, it's gonna be 10. So Scrolls of Fate, I'm not using Scrolls of Fate. And others, this is usually the belt item. I do have the Forger box somewhere in the middle. I think giving like 1.5 or 2, something like that, percent of power. I don't really count them in my build because if you die you lose the buff. So I don't think it's very reliable, but you can definitely count it in. You just click here, choose the upgrade that you have, the level of the forge box that you have, and you should be good. Uh, to see the stats, guys, you go key in view, you go view and play stats. You're gonna see in the screen right now all my stats. Let me go back to the weapons here just so I don't mess up my stats here. I'm using the perfect weapons, I'm not using the master ones. As you can see, you're gonna be capped on all four that we need. Power, critical strike, critical severity, and outgoing healing. Another thing that you have to do before anything, I'm sorry, is you have to come here on Vil, Combat Simulator. This is where you activate your external buffs, things like that you need to proc in combat. So we do change some things here. For example, we do have some power. I don't think I do have in this build, but I know that they exist. If they, that there are pieces that have those buffs. If you stand still for a long time, you get the buff. So you gotta push this to 20 seconds to activate that buff. We have powers that activate with the number of enemies that you're facing. I'm putting one here just to simulate the boss encounter. You have buffs that activate when you depending on the time that you in combat, depending on the distance, uh, depending on the name, the enemies that you just killed, depending on the hits, big hits and heals that you gave. That's the majority of the buffs. That's usually your Dragon Hunter helmet, your Dragon Hunter chest piece, the ones that you need to get a 10% or 15% heal or hit to activate. This is what it is for, big hits and heals. I put it 20 here. I don't think I'm using any that need that, but just in case I change to something like that, it's already here. Companion enhancement, I'm not using any companion enhancement that gives me stats, but if you are, you gotta activate this one. Combat procs, I don't think I need anything from here, but you can need from your attack procs, encounter procs, crits. You might need some of those. I don't need it. External buffs. I'm saying that I'm in a party. The party size is 5. It does matter because my boots I need to be in a group. I think my chest piece I need to be in a group. So if I change that to 2, you see my stats there fluctuate. Like outgoing healing there. You see the chest piece gives outgoing healing depending on the number of players in the party. Look at that. If I'm alone, I lose the buff. Tame the Raptor 4. This is mandatory, guys. Do never change the Raptor, guys. Someone else is using a Runic Aura. You can click on that. If you're a DPS, you should probably click on that because the healer and the tank usually runs with it. The thing is, nowadays, sometimes we only using just one, and the tank is using the pack tax as well. So we might not be, we might not have both of them active, but we do have at least one. In my case, I'm not activating any of this because I already have equipped the Mystic Aura myself. So if I hover over here, the ratings and power, I'm gonna see there on right in the bottom, Mystic Aura. So I don't click here. It doesn't really matter because it's not I'm not gonna get it. I'm not gonna get it twice, but I just leave it without. You can put tutor. It's a fair. It's fair to assume that the support will have. I do use Portobello, so I put the Portobello here. That gives me 3.5 power and 3.5 combat advantage. Of course, I only need the power. And this box here is not close to someone in parties, just to proc the pants. Uh, we have a very misleading pants that says that we need at least one teammate away from you to get the buff active. If I change that, I'm gonna lose some power here. So I'm gonna mark that. And we do have the Paladin buffs. I'm not using any, so I'm not gonna bother. And that's it, man. That's how you set up your build. Now for the build and for the change that I want to make. If you guys can see here everything on the stats. If you hover over the power, you're gonna see that I have 4% extra power. I barely have any critical strike above the cap. I do have a bit of critical severity, and I do have a bit of outgoing healing. So I can make some changes to try to improve. What I said in the video is that I wanted to change this chest piece for the brand new one, that is an upgraded version of it. So I'm gonna do that right now. I did get this chest piece, so I'm gonna do the change. I'm gonna get the same amount of going healing, but right now I'm also gonna get +2 critical strike. So if I select that, now I'm gonna have a little more, little more of critical strike spare. So now I have 3.1 above the cap. So I'm wasting 3.1. Then another thing that I wanted to change, I don't know if you notice, but I do have some extra power. And the thing is, as I've been saying on my videos, I don't like my stats to fluctuate that much in combat. Those gloves, they give me 7.5 power, but I do have to keep on healing people. And that sometimes does not happen. It will happen when you in the middle of those crazy scenarios. For example, when a second boss of Master Demon Rapids facing the Orcus, people are taking hits left, right, and center. So we're gonna keep on healing on, and this glove is gonna be active, but it's not active all the time. So I think I can do better, and that's why I'm gonna change. And I just want to point out another thing as well. Uh, I do have 4% extra power, so technically I can remove Portobello. So the build as it is don't need Portobello. I just have it a little extra power just to compensate the fact that this gloves is not active 100% of the time. So I'm gonna change the gloves right now. I think the best solutions that I can give here, can put here, is the new gloves that you get from the Master Demon Weapons, the one that gives 3% critical strike and forte. I'm gonna change for that. You're gonna see I'm gonna lose some power, so I'm gonna have to find some power someplace else. And let me see the other stats. Now I have 7.2% critical strike extra. I'm wasting 7.2. I'm wasting 3.9 critical severity. And the outgoing healing is great. So I'm gonna go to the companions, see what I can do. I do have a companion here that gives me power and critical strike. As I said, I have some extra critical strike, so I'm gonna change that for the compy that gives only power and we're gonna be good to go. See, all caps again. The other thing that I said in the video is that I do like the builds that give the buff the allies. As a paladin, normally you run with the Vistani and the Grace. I did get the race recently, the Grace recently, so I'm gonna change one of the ranks for the Grace. The easy solution, guys, as you can see, if you take a look at my rings, I'm using the Opal Absolute. That's the healing ring that you get from the new dungeon, the master version. This is just a cherry on top, guys. This does not contribute to my outgoing healing cap. It gives me 7% more heals on top of the cap. And this is the glowing restoration ring that gives me 5% outgoing healing. So the easy way of doing this is just changing the uh, sorry, is just changing the grace. I'm gonna change the grace the change the change the opal ring for the grace. I'm gonna put Illustrious Grace that gives this debuff. I'm losing a little bit of gold healing because the opal ring had the outgoing healing on the rages as well. So the thing that I'm gonna do is gonna change the boots to the seals one to get me this 10,000 outgoing healing ratings, and we're gonna be good to go. That's the easy way to do it. I don't like I like challenges, so I do want to keep my power, but I do wanna use the ring that gives even more heals. So I'm gonna change the glowing restoration ring and use the opal. I want to cap everything and do have the extra healing. The paladins need it. So right now I do lost quite a bunch of outgoing healing. So let's see what can I change here. If you guys see it right here, I do have the power is okay. It's just on the cap, just 0.2% above the cap. Critical strike is just 0.5% of the cap, and critical severity is 3.8, guys. So that's half of a companion, man. So I can change on one companion to get the outgoing healing that I want, and that is the. Let's take a look at the companions. I do have to change 3.75 critical severity. So Kenku Archers is give me power and critical strike and critical severity. Sorry, I could change that for something like power and outgoing healing, but that does not exist as far as I'm aware. You can check. We can also check that on the builder, guys. If I put here to use the filter with the outgoing healing, you're gonna see the options that I have for outgoing healing. I have the bow, sorry, I have the polar bear, the outgoing healing defense. We have the cunning hunter that I do want to buy, which gives forte and outgoing healing for the healer. We do have the dance of joy that gives outgoing healing and coming healing. You have forte outgoing healing, you have awareness outgoing healing, critical strike and outgoing healing, deflection outgoing healing, accuracy outgoing healing, and outgoing healing, awareness, and some damage. You see, so we don't have good options for outgoing healing aside from one, which is the quickly. That's what I'm going to be using tonight on the place of the place of the Soragiel. So the quickly does not fit in the defensive slot, so I'm gonna have to put here on the offensive quickly to give me critical strike and ongoing healing, and on the place of divine judgment, which this is the Soragiel companion. I'm gonna put the golden black back in the game, and now we kept all the stats again, but with even better build, because we do have the buffs, we do kept everything. The stats are very, very static, and I do have the extra healing ring. So we are doing great. Another thing that we can do here is that if you have, I'm working on it, but if you have the MTOS uh, healing helmet that regens divinity, you can use that. You see, that's exalted, that's the upgraded version. You're gonna have to get the legendary and upgrade to the mythic. You're gonna have to play a bunch of MTOS, man. It's annoying. So we're gonna get there. We're gonna lose a little bit of critical strike. We're gonna lose a little bit of critical strike. And the easy fix to this, guys, I don't know if you noticed, but I'm not using any overloads. So the overloads are free for you to use. So the easy fix to this is just use Devil's Precision. And voila, we capped it again. See, we have the best of all the worlds right now. So we do have the extra divinity regen, we do have the debuffs, and we do have the extra healing. So everything's capped. I wouldn't say that. Well, we do have to farm a bunch of pieces for the helmet for this chap. So they're very hard to get. I would say if it was not, but yeah. Let's see if I can do something else here. I don't want to use this. I want to use the new boots to give outgoing healing. Let's see if I can do it because they do give 5,500 outgoing healing. Let's see if I can do that. See, I dropped the ratings. And what can I do now? I can actually go and use the stronghold buff that gives me 4,000 outgoing healing, and I'm just capped, guys, the exact amount, 9% outgoing healing. So again, if you want to be a try hard, you can do that as well. Because what happened here is that I I actually lost a bit of outgoing healing to put the boots, but I got Forte. And Forte for healers is Divinity Regen, so we got even more regen when putting those boots. The downside is, of course, you're gonna have to use the Stronghold food. And that's it. I mean, just play around. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and maybe you guys can download it and play around with your builds and see. It's very, very funny. Very, very cool, very, very easy to use. So, yeah, take care, guys.